Yeah. Now we should create the repositories for these two uh, individuals, means project repositories we should create. Now go to the metadata manager. Then we have a separate folder called the project repositories. Right click here, then new project repository. So whenever it is project repository, definitely it will ask the person because it's a person oriented, right? Then go to the Anand, then give a name. So Anand repository or some Anand task, you can give any name. Then next, path. So you should define a path for each metadata. Then creating one more. Next, finish. Repository initiation successful. It will show here in the project repositories. Anand repository, it will show as a repository type is project and ID also assigned. Then new project repository, that's with Amit, then Amit repository, then browse, finish. So repository initiated successful. So we created these repositories. So here also you can create different users for marketing, but I'm not creating this, just leave it. So we have only one custom repository. Now, what is the metadata? I mean, this metadata name is my server, right? So here we created the repository, but with which name you want to connect to the repository. So you should create the metadata names. You can do it in the management console, or else while connecting also you can define a metadata. See, for example, I'm creating a DI Studio. I mean, I'm opening a DI Studio environment. Now, create a new connection profile. Okay. So, give some name because you are connecting to that particular repository with some name. So, you're creating a connection profile. So, let's make it as a sales metadata or sales connection. You can give any name. Then next, machine is say localhost. And I haven't used any type of the user ID password for the repository. I just created a repository. Anyone can connect to the repository, right? Anyone from this group can connect to the repository. So I'm using the same YAML only. Okay. So there are no project available for, anyway, this is not a project repository. So, and Hammer student. Yeah, now we connected to the this particular repository called the sales repository and sales metadata here. You can see here there are three folders only, right? Transformations, folders, and inventory. Only three tabs are there: folder tab, transformation, and inventory. Okay, so there is no any change management facilities available. I mean, can you see any change management facility? No, right? Click on the checkout. It's all faded. You cannot see any active, I mean, checkout content here. Because this checkout check-in facility is available only between the project repository and custom repository. So this is a custom repository. So no project repository is connected here. So they are all like, I mean, enabled. Then go to the connection profile again. Now creating a new connection profile, marketing metadata. Go to the next, same localhost. Again, I am using the Ahmed only. Finish. Again, the same marketing metadata. I connected to the Ahmed. I connected with this credentials. You can see here. Ahmed at localhost as unrestricted. We connected to this repository as a Ahmed as a localhost. At localhost with unrestricted capabilities, and localhost is 8561. We connected through this metadata portal 8561. Okay. Then again, I am creating this time new profile, that is Anand metadata. So where this Anand want to connect with the same user ID and password, right? Anand. And what is the password? I have given SAS, and one more thing, user ID I created as internal user, right? So if you use simply Anand, it won't work. Okay, let us see. SAS 123 I have given. Then click on next. See, it's giving error. Why? Go to the details. Authentication error actually. Okay, because when I created user Anand, user ID, it should be suffixed with SAS PW. Okay, because I created an internal user. Go to the next. Application could not log into the server. Password is
small a
used. Let's check there. There is SAS PW and SAS 123, right? SAS 123. My server. User manager. Anand. Properties. Accounts. Oh, I forgot to create the internal user. Create internal account. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Then it's connecting. Then connect to your project. Anand repository. We're connecting to this Anand repository. Next. Finish. Then Anand at the rate of SAS PW. Then SAS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 3, 1. Right. Now, can you see here? There is a checkout tab also there. Can you see? Folders, transformations, checkouts, inventory, and then the checkouts. Yeah, you can. You can see check-in clear like that. These are enabled. Means the check-in checkout facility is enabled now because we connected to Anand repository with this Anand metadata as a project repository. So when it is a project repository, automatically this checkout facility is available. Got it? Anyway, while working, we'll understand. Then connection profile. Again, I want to create a new connection profile called the Hamid metadata. Then
whenever we have like a project repository with the, with that name, then only we can connect. We can
do the check-in checkout. Change management facility is available.
Oh.
And for Hamid also, I need to create an internal user. Accounts, create internal user. SAS 123, SAS 123. Done. same checkout facility also available to this one also. So how many metadata repositories we created? Foundation is already existing. We created 4 repositories and we assigned metadata for each repository with different names, right? Sales repository I created, and I used sales metadata and Ahmed student one. These are the credentials. And for this marketing also, I used marketing metadata, then same Ahmed student one I'm using. But for Anand, I created a metadata with the Anand metadata name, and the user is internal user Anand @ SAS PW SAS 123. So here also the same thing. Hamid metadata, then Hamid @ SAS PW, then SAS 123. Right, like this. Okay, I'm saving this one for future reference. So it's a repository tree, a repository hierarchy. Or you can use anything. Yeah. Now I have the repositories as well as the metadata defined for those repositories, and users also I have. Okay. Yeah. So what we have done using this management console, we created the repositories and we understood the change management. Then we understood the repository hierarchy, like a foundation repository, custom repository, and project repository. Okay. Then metadata creation, we created metadata also, and we created the users also. Okay, user creation. So what is the user? Anand. We created users Anand and Hamid as a internal users. Internal users. Okay. Now let us do some tasks in the custom repository. Okay. Then we'll do some tasks in the Anand repository, and we'll be doing some tasks in the Hamid repository also. Okay. So before performing a task, we have to make the environment ready with the customized folders. And one more thing, there is a big task that comes under the ACT control. This I will explain later, in the next class, ACT controls. Okay. So first we will start the DI Studio. Okay. Then while creating some jobs, then we will control those jobs using this ACT controls. Currently we don't have the jobs to control. So that's why I will explain this ACT controls later. Okay. Now, yeah, let's customize the folders. So I'm connecting to the sales metadata. Sales metadata means I am a student one. Saving the user ID and password. Now this is the environment. Actually, these many metadata objects you can find. What are the metadata objects you can find here? Action. Each word or each part is called a metadata object only. Okay. Even table is called a metadata object. Okay. Cube is called a metadata object. Even measure is a metadata object. Like, okay. We can call all these metadata objects only. So inventory means it will organize automatically. See, for example, table, click on the table. So these many tables are already got registered here in this environment. Okay. Then click on the store process. So these many store process are available. Cars, SPN, these are all available. Okay. See, we connected here as a Ahmed, right? As Ahmed. So that's why you can find all these things. You can find all these things. Okay. Yeah, as admin. So that you can find all these, and you can even access. We have the access to all these things. Then coming to the prompt group. So these are the prompt we have. These are the prompts. These are lab schema, like this. So inventory means how many objects are there. It will show. Then coming to the folders. Folders means these are nothing but the metadata location. So already there are predefined folders. So, but for the tasks what you're going to perform now, you should create some folders. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
we should create our own folders here. Then these are the list of transformations available. Access, these many access transformations, analysis, then change data capture, control, data, then data quality. Like this, we have different types of the transformations. So we should work on all these transformations later. Then first you organize the folders. So right click, go to the new folder. What do you want to do now? Okay, let us work on some sales project. We're doing some sales project. Yeah, sales project. Then right click, create some folder again. So external files. So I want to keep all the external files in this folder. Okay. Then source. I want to define the source here. Okay. Yeah, source. Then want to define the target tables here. Later, after defining the source and target, we'll be creating some jobs. Like this, we should create folders for each and every task. If you're creating a store process, then create one folder called the store process. Then if you are creating a lab cube, then use the create a folder called the lab cubes. Then we should create the libraries also. So keep the libraries as one folder. Then metadata information, metadata info, like this. Deployed jobs also, you can keep one folder. Deployed jobs. Then like this, if you are creating an information delivery portal, I mean information map, sorry, then you can create one more. Okay, but currently I think these are enough, because we'll be connecting two different sources and we'll be defining in the source. Then we create the target tables and we'll be loading the source into the target using jobs. Then we'll connect to some external files also. Then after creating the jobs, we'll deploy the jobs. Then while accessing to the data, we create the libraries. Then from there, we'll be creating the store process. And yeah, these are enough. Okay. So we created some custom folders. Okay. So this, I mean, we made the environment ready. Okay. Now, let's work on this. So before working, okay, what is an ETL actually? So here we are doing the ETL processing only. ETL, or we also call it the data warehouse. Anyway, I will explain the data warehouse concepts also later. So create customized folder. We have, I mean, we have created the folders. Now ETL processing we should do. ETL means extraction, transformation, loading. So we have to extract the data from different sources, and later we should change them as per the requirement and then load into the target tables. Okay. So these are the steps. Define the source is the first step. Define the target is second step. Then load the data from source to target by different transformation. That's called the data staging area. This is the third step. Then after loading the data from source to the target, then we can directly use these to generate the reports. Okay. Anyway, we are just creating the data warehouse. That's it. Once you load the data from source to the target, then that's it. The data will get loaded into the target location. Then the data warehouse will get created. That's it. Then what is the OLAP cube preparation? Sometimes, people will ask you to create the OLAP cubes by defining the schemas. Then You can build the schemas, okay, and here before creating OLAP queue preparation, schemas you can build. Building the schemas, and using those schemas you can create the OLAP queues, and from the OLAP queues you can generate the reports, and you can uh, create the portals and portlets also, and we can you can give the access to the end users to generate the reports via these portlets. So these are the steps. Okay. First, let us see the source definition. Source definition means where the data usually available. The data is available in three forms. One is in the external file or flat files or CSV files. So here just define the path. That is enough. Define the path. See, we are not using any type of loading or importing, exporting. Always we are using this word called defining. Just give the definitions of the path. That's it. It will automatically load. We are not going to import anything physically. We are importing everything virtually. That's it, right? So define the path for the external files. Then if there is a data set, then you have to define the library. Okay. First of all, let us get some data from the external files into our environment. Okay. Yeah. Now it's an external files. Okay. And go to the file location. Actually, I have a folder called the EG codes. EG codes. In the EG codes, I have different types of data sources. I'm arranging these as a type. Groups. Yeah. So these are the text files, and these are the data sets, CSV files. It's a Excel and it's an Access. Now I want to connect to these files. Employee. It's an employee.
Actually, like your page is loading very slow.
Sorry.
No, whatever you are saying, like it's not synced with the this screen actually. Because, I mean, it's loading very slow.
Okay. You can see the screen delayed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And now I'm seeing the notepad. Just now you opened one notepad.
Oh. Maybe is it because of internet?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know. Like you have already opened that folder and you have I mean shown all the
Yes. Yes.
files
Yeah.
and folders, right? So
Mm,
now
yeah.
it got opened and now the notepad has
Okay.
opened.
Okay. It's not syncing. Yeah. It is because of the network. It seems.
Yeah,
Mm, but actually, just can you give me a second? I will just check.
yeah.